Chosen one, this moment is not a coincidence. You were called here because a great change is about to happen. Something powerful, something that will transform your reality. But there's a condition. You need to be ready. Signs are appearing everywhere, and those who see beyond the obvious know that this is the last chance. Time is running out, and the opportunity you've always waited for is at your door. There is no room for doubt, no room for fear. Money is coming. Abundance is about to manifest, but only those who are prepared will receive it. Do you feel it? That energy pulsing within you, that expectation in the air? This isn't just a feeling. This is a calling. Stay with me until the end, because this message was written for you. And when you finish, write in the comments, "I am ready," because that will be your first act of manifestation. Now, let's begin. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness deep in your soul. A feeling that something is about to change, as if an invisible force were pushing you toward a new destiny. This sensation hasn't just started growing within you. Perhaps you've tried to ignore it, doubted it, but now it's stronger than ever. This isn't a coincidence. This is a calling. Tonight is the last chance. Time is running and a portal is about to close. Only those who are attentive and prepared will be able to cross it. But you were called. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because you've always been destined for this moment. You asked, prayed, waited, and now the time has come to receive. Throughout your life, you've been put to the test. There were moments when you thought about giving up, when the pain was too great, when the difficulties seemed endless. But look at yourself now. You survived. You overcame each obstacle, each tear, each night when you wondered if you could really move forward. None of it was in vain. Each experience shaped you. Each fall taught your soul to rise again. And what you may not have realized is that all these battles weren't just testing you. They were preparing you. Nothing in this life happens by chance. Each choice, each encounter, each loss, and each achievement was leading you to this exact moment. You asked for changes, and they are on their way. But there's something you need to understand. Not everyone is ready to receive what they ask for. Many ask for abundance, but refuse to act when the opportunity arises. Many desire wealth, but cling to a scarcity mindset. The universe doesn't deliver blessings to those who doubt. It delivers to those who know they deserve it. And that is your final test. You feel the calling, you notice the signs, but do you truly believe? Or do you deep down still allow yourself to doubt your own destiny? Destiny always sends signs before a major turn. You've seen them. Repeated numbers, unexpected encounters, inexplicable presentiments. This isn't coincidence. It's the universe calling you, testing if you're attentive, if you're ready to receive what is rightfully yours. Often the blessing we've waited for is already around us, but we can't see it because we haven't changed our perception. The key to unlocking this new phase of your life is within you, not in the external world, not in something yet to come, but in the now. In your state of mind, in your ability to believe and act as if victory were already yours. But the question is, are you ready? Are you willing to open your mind and accept that something grand is about to happen? Or will you doubt, hesitate, and let this blessing pass? The clock doesn't stop. The portal is closing, and only those who truly believe will have the courage to cross it. You feel this energy, this restlessness, this silent certainty that something is about to change. This isn't an illusion. This isn't chance. It's the final call. The universe always works in cycles. There's a time to plant, a time to grow, and a time to harvest. And now, your time to harvest has arrived. You've already been through the difficult phases. You've faced storms that tried to break you. Each obstacle that appeared in your path wasn't there to stop you, but to prepare you. You needed to learn. You needed to evolve. You needed to become strong enough to hold everything you're about to receive. The money you asked for, the change you visualized, the life you dreamed of. All of this is already coming your way. But here's the truth that few realize. Abundance always arrives first in the spirit before manifesting in the physical world. If you haven't yet seen the transformation on the outside, it's because something inside you hasn't aligned yet. Your mind, your heart, your energy need to be tuned to what you desire. You can't ask for wealth and continue feeding thoughts of scarcity. You can't wish for a new life and continue vibrating at the frequency of the past. And now, at this exact moment, the universe is giving you a choice: to believe or to doubt, to act or to wait. Many reach this point and give up. They see the opportunity, feel that something great is about to happen, but at the last second, fear wins. They hesitate, they doubt, and with that, they let the door close before their eyes. Fear is a thief of destinies. It paralyzes, steals your confidence, makes you question if you really deserve everything you asked for. It whispers in your ear, what if it's not true? What if you fail? What if this isn't for you? But these doubts aren't yours. They're just shadows from the past, trying to keep you where you've always been. Today, you need to decide, will you feed your doubts or will you feed your faith? Because those who dare to believe, those who have the courage to open themselves to abundance, are the ones who receive it. The universe has already chosen you, but now, you need to choose yourself. You need to take this step without hesitation, without questioning if you deserve it. Because you deserve it. You always have. The energy is already in motion. Money is coming. Prosperity is already knocking at your door, but only those who are ready will receive it. The final question is, are you ready to open that door? Look back for a moment. See everything you've faced. The pains, the losses, the battles that almost made you give up. But you didn't give up. You continued, even when everything seemed to be falling apart. And it wasn't by chance. Every tear that fell, every door that closed, every path that seemed to lead to the end, none of it was a coincidence. It might have seemed unfair. It might have hurt more than you thought you could bear, but now you begin to see what once seemed like punishment was, in fact, protection. What seemed like a delay was a divine realignment. God has always been with you, even when you thought you were alone. Even when you felt that no one heard your prayers, He was there, working behind the scenes, moving pieces you couldn't imagine, opening paths your eyes couldn't yet see. But He knew there was a right time for all things, because what is truly grand doesn't arrive before its time. Imagine a fruit tree. If the fruits are harvested too early, they'll be green, bitter, unfit to be enjoyed. But when the right season comes, the fruits ripen and are ready to be picked. And the same happens with blessings. The truth that few understand is that the waiting time was never about what you wanted to receive. It was about who you needed to become to hold that blessing. God doesn't deny prosperity. He doesn't deny abundance. He just waits for us to be prepared, because wealth without wisdom is lost. Power without responsibility destroys. Victory without purpose becomes emptiness. And what He always wanted for you wasn't something temporary. It was something eternal. And that's why everything happened exactly the way it did. You needed to learn. You needed to mature. You needed to shed old beliefs, doubts, fears that prevented your ascension. You needed to be refined. Many people ask for blessings, but few are prepared to hold them. They want prosperity, but don't learn to manage it. They want success, but fear responsibility. They want a new path, but keep looking back. And that's why so many opportunities are lost. But you were molded by fire. Each difficulty strengthened your faith. Each trial taught you to trust, even without seeing the entire path ahead. And now, finally, the harvest is coming. You feel it, don't you? Something changed in the air. There's a silent certainty, an invisible weight lifting from your shoulders. The cycle of struggle is coming to an end. The time of abundance has begun. The path was prepared, the universe is aligned, the heavens have already decreed your victory. But before you take the next step, there's something very important you need to understand. The gears of the universe never stop. Everything that has happened in your life was moving in perfect synchrony, guiding you to this moment. What once seemed confusing now makes sense. Each fall, each disappointment, each struggle that seemed unfair, everything had a greater purpose. How many times did you feel lost? That the world seemed to move forward while you stood still? How many times did you see doors closing and wondered if there was something wrong with you? But now, looking back, you understand. They weren't doors closing. They were divine protections. You may not have realized it at the time, but God was aligning everything. People who left your life, opportunities that seemed good but didn't work out, paths you thought were for you but suddenly dissolved. Nothing was a mistake. It was God adjusting the details, preparing the ground for something much greater than you could imagine. But here's the truth that few understand. This wait was never about time. It was about your preparation. God knew that if He delivered everything you asked for at the wrong time, you wouldn't be ready to sustain it. Because blessings without preparation become burdens. Many people ask for prosperity, but remain trapped in a scarcity mindset. They want success, but fear responsibility. They desire a new life, but still cling to old versions of themselves. And that's why God made you wait. Because He didn't want to give you something temporary. He wanted to give you something eternal. Now, look at yourself. You're no longer the same person who started this journey. Something has changed within you. You've matured, learned, grown stronger. Now you're ready. The path has been prepared. Everything necessary has been put in order. Abundance is coming. The transformation has already begun. But there's something you need to understand. This door doesn't open by itself. God brought you here, but He wants to see if you have the courage to cross through. Free will always be yours. He can prepare the path, but the decision to move forward is yours, and this is where many fail. They reach this point and at the last second retreat. Fear speaks louder. Doubt begins to erode their faith. They look at the open door but hesitate. Opportunities arise and they say, maybe it's not for me, maybe it's not time yet. But God has already said, the time is now. You didn't come this far to stop. You didn't face all this to turn back. You are standing before your promise, and now only one step remains. Fear may try to whisper that you're not capable. Insecurity may try to bind you to what's familiar. But God didn't bring you this far to abandon you. He is by your side. He is saying, go. Advance, trust. The energy around you is already moving. Can you feel it? There's something different in the air. The transformation has already begun. Now take a deep breath. Step forward. The path has been prepared. Just follow it. You asked for a sign. You wanted a confirmation, a clear answer from the universe, something that would say, without a shadow of doubt, yes, it's your time. Yes, change is coming. Yes, the blessing is already on its way. And now, the sign has arrived. But can you see it? Because what separates those who receive from those who keep waiting isn't luck nor chance. It's perception. Often the sign doesn't come in the form we expect. It doesn't arrive like lightning in the sky or a thundering voice telling you exactly what to do. It comes subtly, in the details, in the presentiment that makes you change direction without knowing why, in the intuition that warns you about something, even if it seems illogical, in the small coincidences that seem insignificant at the moment, but later reveal themselves as pieces of a grand plan. How many times have you ignored these signs? How many times have you felt that impulse in your heart, that inexplicable certainty, and even so hesitated? The universe is already speaking to you. God is already speaking to you. He always has been. For every prayer you made, He answered, but not always in the way you wanted. Perhaps you asked for clarity and instead received silence. Perhaps you asked for an easy path and instead faced more challenges. But do you know why? Because each of these moments was part of the answer. Each one was a sign. Sometimes God shows you the path by closing a door. He protects you through rejection, directs you through losses. The problem is that often, instead of seeing this as divine realignment, you feel abandoned, forgotten. But God never abandoned you. He was just preparing something greater. And now the sign has come again. The moment is here. The only question is, are you paying attention? Because if you're not, the opportunity may pass before your eyes and you won't even notice. God may be shouting the answer, and still you might not hear, because often we are so attached to our own idea of how things should be that we can't see how they really are. If you're waiting for a sign to act, then this is the sign. If you needed a confirmation to move forward, then this is the confirmation. Something inside you already knows that change is near. You feel it. You notice that things are different, that there's something in the air, something new, something powerful forming around you. This isn't imagination. This isn't chance. It's the answer you've been waiting for. But now, there's only one question. What will you do with it? Signs are everywhere, but not everyone can see them. Not everyone pays attention. Not everyone understands that what they've been asking for is already before them. The universe communicates in mysterious ways. God speaks to you constantly, but he doesn't shout. He whispers. He manifests through small details, through moments that seem ordinary but carry profound messages. Sometimes signs appear in repeated numbers that show up on clocks, car plates, addresses you cross without noticing. Have you noticed? Have you realized that certain patterns constantly appear around you? This isn't chance. This isn't random. This is the universe trying to get your attention. Other times, the sign is in a phrase someone says casually, without knowing the impact it will have on you. But in your heart, it resonates in a different way, as if it were an answer you didn't even know you needed to hear. It can also be an unexpected delay that at the moment frustrates you, but later places you exactly where you needed to be. Or even an obstacle that seems like a barrier, but is actually protecting you from something you can't see. But there's something you need to understand. Signs never come without purpose. They don't appear for no reason. They are directions. They are invitations. They are confirmations that you're on the right path, or alerts that you need to change direction. And ignoring them can mean losing a unique opportunity. How many times have you asked for a sign and when it came, doubted, questioned, thought it was just coincidence? But there are no coincidences in the divine plan. What exists is the perfect synchronicity between what you asked for and what God is sending you, but he can't force you to see. That depends on you. If you feel in your heart that something is changing, don't ignore it. If you sense it's time to act, don't hesitate. If you perceive that everything around you is pointing to a new path, don't be afraid to follow it. Many people wait for a grand sign, something impossible to deny. But the most important signs almost never come in spectacular form. They come subtly to test your faith, your intuition, your ability to recognize God's voice even in silence. Signs don't appear to those who are standing still. They appear to those who are in motion, to those who have already made the decision to move forward, to trust, to advance even without seeing the entire path. They guide, direct, illuminate. But it's you who needs to take the next step. Now, pay attention, because something big is about to happen. Do you feel it? That vibration in the air, that invisible force moving around you? Something is changing. Something powerful is happening at this exact moment. The door you've waited for so long is opening now. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet. From the outside, everything might still look the same. But something inside you already knows. Something already perceives that this is the moment you've been waiting for. The time of preparation is over. The time for action has begun. But here's the truth that many don't understand. This door doesn't open for just anyone. It opens for the brave, for those who, even without seeing the entire path, have faith to take the first step. For those who understand that fear was never a real obstacle, just an illusion created to test your determination. The universe has already aligned every detail. God has already prepared the perfect scenario, but He cannot decide for you. Free will is yours. Many reach this moment and retreat. They feel the opportunity is there, but let fear speak louder. The fear of failing, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of taking risks and losing everything. But what they don't realize is that the greatest risk isn't crossing the door. It's remaining outside, because one thing is certain, this door won't stay open forever. If you hesitate, if you doubt, if you let this chance slip away, it could take years for another opportunity like this to appear. But you didn't come this far to give up. You didn't go through everything you went through to stop now. You came to win. Now look around you. Take a deep breath. Feel God's presence in this moment. He is here. He is guiding you. He is saying, "Child, go. The road is open. The path is clear. The promise is fulfilled." But the final decision is yours. Now the only question that remains is, will you cross that door, or will you stand still, watching your blessing slip away? There's a moment when everything changes, an instant when life gives you the chance to leave the place where you've always been and walk toward what has always belonged to you. This is your moment. The door that has been closed for so long is now open, but there's something that needs to be said. Not everyone will have the courage to cross it, because crossing that door means leaving the past behind. It means abandoning old fears, limiting beliefs, excuses that have kept you stuck for so long. It means trusting. Many want changes, but few are willing to take the necessary step to receive them. They hesitate. They wait for an even clearer sign. They say, "What if it's not the right time? What if I'm not ready?" But God has already given you the answer. He has already prepared the path. He has already opened the door. What else do you need to believe? Time is running out. The opportunity before you won't stay here forever. If you feel fear, that's okay. Fear is natural, but you can't let it paralyze you. You need to cross the door despite the fear, because on the other side, something greater awaits you. Abundance, prosperity, victory, everything you asked for is already within your reach. Now take a deep breath. Hold your head high. Take the step. The door is open. Just cross it. The waiting time is over. The harvest has arrived. For a long time, you planted without seeing the fruits, worked without recognition, fought without knowing when victory would come. But God saw every effort. He heard every prayer. And now, the time to receive has come. Everything that seemed impossible is about to happen. Everything that seemed distant is now within your reach. The money you asked for, the prosperity you visualized, the transformation you always knew would come, all of this is already manifesting. But there's something you need to understand. The harvest isn't for just anyone. It's for those who didn't give up, for those who continued even when everything seemed lost. It's for you. Now stop for a moment. Breathe. Feel that energy. The universe is moving in your favor. God is placing in your hands everything that was always rightfully yours. But the final question is, are you ready to hold this blessing? The seed you planted in the past has now borne fruit. The time of scarcity is over. The waiting time has ended. What was invisible now becomes real. Can you feel it? That sensation that something grand is finally happening. This isn't an illusion. This isn't a distant desire. This is the promise being fulfilled. For a long time, you questioned if you were on the right path. There were moments when you doubted, moments when you thought about giving up. But God never gave up on you. He already knew the end of your story. Every struggle you faced was preparation. Every closed door was a redirection. Every delay was a divine adjustment so that you would be exactly here, exactly now. And now it's time to receive. The money you asked for is on its way. Abundance is flowing to you. Opportunities are presenting themselves. Doors that were once closed now open with ease because your time has come. But there's something very important. The harvest demands responsibility. What you do now will determine what happens next. Success isn't a destination, it's a cycle. Just as the land needs to be cared for even after the harvest, your mindset needs to be ready to sustain this new phase. God is entrusting you with something big, and He wants to see how you will use this blessing. Now lift your head, give thanks, celebrate, but above all, be ready to live your new reality. Because the time of struggle is over. The time of abundance has begun. The harvest has arrived. The journey has come to an end. But in truth, this is just the beginning. You've crossed through darkness. You've faced the challenges. You've passed tests that many wouldn't endure. And now you're here, standing, stronger, more prepared, ready to receive what has always been yours. The time of scarcity is over. The waiting time has ended. Now is the time of abundance, the time of harvest, the time of manifestation. But before moving forward, pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel this energy. Don't you feel the weight of the past lifting from your shoulders? Don't you notice the lightness of knowing that finally it's your turn? This isn't a dream. This isn't chance. This is real. Everything you've lived until now had a purpose. Nothing was wasted. No tear fell unseen. No prayer was ignored. God was with you at every step, even when you couldn't see, even when you doubted. Now He tells you, child, go. The road is open. The path is clear. The promise is fulfilled. But remember, with great blessings come great responsibilities. You cannot go back to who you were before. You can no longer think small. God has elevated you to a new level, and it's here you must remain. Fear may try to whisper in your ear. Doubt may try to pull you back. But you already know the truth. What's yours is here. Prosperity has already begun. Now rise up. Walk like someone who has won. Speak like someone who knows they are blessed. Act like someone who has already received everything they asked for, because the harvest isn't just a moment, it's a new cycle. Life will never be the same again. Something inside you has changed. Something inside you has awakened. You can no longer return to what you were before, because now you know, now you see. Now you feel in every cell of your body that this is your time. And when a new phase begins, there's no more room for old limitations, no more room for fear, doubt, or hesitation. What once held you back no longer reaches you. What once limited you has lost its power over you. You're no longer the same person who began this journey. You've been reborn. The money you were waiting for, the opportunities that seemed distant, the doors that never opened, they're here now. But you can't just receive, you need to sustain this blessing. This means acting like someone who has already won. This means honoring everything God has placed in your hands. This means never again doubting who you are and what you came to do in this world. Because now it's not just about you, it's about the impact you'll have. It's about the lives that will be transformed by your growth. It's about the greater purpose that brought you here. God doesn't bless you just so you can have more. He blesses you so you can become a channel of abundance, so that through you, light spreads, so that through you, more doors open for other people. So listen carefully. This is your moment. The harvest has arrived, the new cycle has begun, and now everything depends on how you choose to live this new phase. Live like someone who has already won. Walk like someone carrying the blessing, and always remember, you were chosen.